Hey YouTube friends, welcome to the March sew and chat. We're skipping February, that's alright, we ran out of time, that happens. So today I'm going to show you a little bit more about this massive Road to 10K hexie project I've been working on and how I assemble my hexie blocks, okay? It's going to be a real fun one, and we're going to chit chat about what's been going on, what we got coming up, some other fun stuff. So let's just start with these blocks that are on top. These are blocks currently done for the next row. I do all of my blocks for a row first, and then I assemble them all as a row, and then I attach the row. So sounds a little weird, but it helps me map out my pieces, my hexies, and everything else. And like I said, this personal project, there are no rules. This is a way I am using up my scraps. As you see, there's even themed ones. There's some pieces in here that are strategically done. There's going to be a couple more blocks that are strategic based on past projects and keeping those collective fabrics together. I'm also going to do a couple other highlighted designs throughout, but we'll get there. There's going to be 100 of these blocks. So I have a lot of time to play with these blocks. So as you see, there are some that I attempted to really keep with the traditional hexagon style, the flower garden pattern. And I just thought it was boring. And I had way too many scraps. So I nixed that and just started creating these blocks. Now this is currently 2 rows together, which means roughly what you are going to see is an estimated 20,000, I'm sorry, not 20,000, 2,000 hexagons. These are all, I believe, 3/4 of an inch, maybe a 1/2 inch. I don't know. Get my trusty template. Oh, it does say 1 inch finished, so my apologies. These are 1 inch hexies for the most part. So here is just, and you can see all the different fabrics. There are Christmas fabrics. There are some Halloween fabrics. There's more Christmas. There's florals. Later on you'll see some flannels. There's sparkle fabric mixed in. Like, there are truly no rules to this monster of a project. There's even some Pokemon. You can find some cute little paw prints, some cats. Like, it pretty much is a giant I Spy quilt. That actually doesn't even fit in my house at this point. Oh, there's another one that was planned. Those fabrics actually coordinated really well. I have some scrap pieces that are 1/2 and 1/2 that I plugged in. Let's see some other fun ones. There's some Harry Potter fabric in there. Halloween, next to florals. This has also been a great way to use up fabric that I just don't love and can't put in a project anymore. Okay? We've reached the end. So that's 2 full rows. This is what the back looks like. It looks like a complete and utter mess. If you are familiar with working with EPP, normally people, they trim the backs, they make it look all neat. This is not. This is like a snuffle pad for a dog, if you're familiar with those slow feeders that they gotta sit there and root around in. It's very similar, very texturally fun. But there's a reason I have left 99% of these oversized. Some have been trimmed throughout the project. Not most of them. And that is because I want this blanket to be heavy. I want this blanket to be weighted. I want it to be thick. And the quilt community is going to hate me. I am going to machine quilt this project once it is finally done. And some people are gasping right now, and that's okay, because this is my project and this is my blanket, and that's what I want out of it. That's okay. You can see there's some weird neons in here. Like, it's been a lot of fun creating this so far. And I can't wait to see where we go with the next 8 rows. I'm going to move this monster aside. It doesn't even fit in my living room. So today I'm going to show you how I go about making my blocks, because I do it very different than most people. So to keep things scrappy, I set up all of my blocks for a row at a time. So let me explain where we're at with that as I get these out. So when I start my row, these are the last couple blocks finishing up that row. I start with a piece. Let's say I have this piece. Actually, that's not even a good example because that one doesn't duplicate as fast. This right here is from a tarot card line. Okay, so if I use that here, the next time I come across that piece, I start my next block, and so on and so forth until I have all of my 10 blocks. Now you can see sometimes it ends up in the middle. So as I'm duplicating my fabrics, it's moving to the next block. That helps me minimize the chances of having duplicate pieces in the same block, which it does happen. And guess what? I'm not going to worry about it, because when you see 10,000 of these next to each other, 2 matching pieces aren't going to be the problem. Okay? Now, many people fussy cut their EPP. I don't. I can't waste all that fabric. This is supposed to be scrappy and using up my fabric and other things. So I can't justify precision cutting fabric. Now, if it's close and it lines up, like some of these cute pieces have, let me show you that cute little kitten. Like, I try my best to make it work and to line some things up when I can. But by no means am I particularly cutting these up. I'm using just 2-inch squares, scrap fabrics. These are about what my pieces look like. I based with really cheap Temu thread. I don't order from there often, but when I need to bump up an order for shipping or something like that, I will add this cheap thread if I don't have any on my back burner. Other things that I will use to thread based is thread that I get from estate sales. Sometimes they will have fun little like bag sales, fill the bag for like 20 bucks, and thread's easy to fit a lot in. And I'll use that for my basting as well. I will use older threads on wooden spools just to thread baste. It's not wasting because all that stuff was already en route to the garbage. And when I do get enough thread saved up, I will normally burn it and scatter the ashes outside for compost. So it all works out. So here are the last 4 blocks for that row. I have been basting hexies in my cute, adorable little singer tin that I found, thrifted, and I have a bunch of these ready to go. So I'm going to show you how I assemble my blocks. And we're just going to sit here and chat a little bit. When I recorded this, not when this goes live, we had just had the blood moon last night. If any of you were able to catch that, awesome. Unfortunately, we had cloud coverage and we could not in my area, and that's okay. We had another one back in, I think it was 2022. So it wasn't too horrible. Some other things I have been working on that I'm excited to bring to you and this channel. I've been doing 15 minutes of sewing every day as a challenge, and I'm working solely on my work in project blankets. Okay. That means my astrology quilt that has been sitting here unfinished for 4 years, something like that, is finally almost done actually, and I'm pretty excited about it. I think I have a couple more squares to finish. It was already bound and dated a long time ago. So there is that coming up. See, this piece matches that. So I'm going to pop that right down there. And just keep working through it, almost like a puzzle. It definitely gives me puzzle vibes from way back in the day. My grandmother was very good at puzzles. She always had one up somewhere in the house. I remember spending many days just staring at it blankly because puzzles are not always my jam. Fabric is, though. And as you see, I'm just mapping out my rows. I will come back. I will sew them later. There's another mushroom one. Make sure this one doesn't have a mushroom from some random other place. And pop that in. So yes, there will be some videos coming up about that 15-minute challenge. I'm excited to bring that to you because it really has shown me already in such a short time how much you can really get done just spending a little bit of time every single day sewing. Now, granted, let's be real, setup takes time, things like that take time. So it's 15 minutes of just sewing. If you have a designated sewing spot, you're going to be able to do that way faster than I can. And that's good. It means you can get a little bit more done. But it has been very rewarding, very enjoyable. I've had a great time revisiting that and checking off projects off my list. And that also means more videos for you guys to check out. I have one coming up. I could finally launch it. I did a adorable little baby quilt. It was an impromptu panel quilt. So if you have some extra panels laying around and you don't know quite what to do with them, I do a quick run through of how I turned a panel into a baby quilt, and it took me, I believe, about 6 to 10 hours, like real life time, not video time. We edited that way down. Don't worry. Oh, now here we have a piece. I have it in every single block so far. So that's going to go off to the side for the pile for the next row. Okay. I'm not going to make extra blocks for the next row because once these are together, they go on the quilt, and then I'll have all of the cardboard bits, the templates from those to make more blocks or more hexies as well. So I try not to overload either way. There's another one. But yeah, back to panel quilt. I love working with panels. They're probably one of my favorite ways to knock out a quilt. One of my friends went, "Oh yeah, we're pregnant, congratulations." And then it turned into, "Oh yeah, the baby shower is in like 2 weeks." And I'm like, that's cool. So I really needed something fun and fast. And I had this adorable little Precious Moments panel. Actually, I don't even know if they were panels. I think they were applique pieces that were just big enough that I could use it for a panel. So I did. I made an impromptu baby blanket. Put the panel in the middle. Used some other scraps that I had from a previous baby blanket. My friends need to stop having so many kids. Auntie can't keep up. So 2, 4, 6, 8. I have 2 more rows for that. So all of this is going to have to scoot down just a smidge. Because math is hard, and that's okay. We're going to get these all mapped out. So these will all be ready essentially to be sewn up with the pieces I have today. I don't know if we're going to get there together, but I will eventually. But I love my friends. I'm so glad that we were able to get that quilt done and sent out. They received it. So happy. It's adorable. And like I said, it's really, using panels is one of my favorite ways to just knock out a quilt really fast. You can use a panel, any of my scrappy videos, you can use those for a border. Those make great border pieces. And just find some coordinating colors. It doesn't have to be a long thought process. It doesn't have to be a hard one. You truly can just put some colors together. Is color theory something you guys would want to hear more about? If so, let me know in the comments about how I coordinate my scrappy quilts. It does take a little bit of thoughtfulness and a little bit of color matching, but outside of that, I promise you, it's not that hard, and I know you can do it. So what else do we have on the table? After the astrology quilt is done, which I learned a lot working on that quilt, and I can't wait to share all of those blunders with you so you don't make the same mistakes. And I learned a lot about different battings, hand quilting preferences, fabric preferences. There was a lot of learning on that quilt. That quilt was actually started back in, I finished it in 2022, so that means I started it before then. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 11. And then after that, I have a couple other projects that I can dig right into. I know we have a Halloween blanket that needs to be finished. We have a baby frog blanket that needs to be finished. One of my coworkers is currently doing a drive at her church for household necessities and things like that, that if I can get the baby frog quilt done, it could very well go to that, and I would enjoy that. I do always look for local charities first to donate my extra quilts to. Because let's be real, I don't need 500 quilts. I would like to have room for 500 quilts, but that is not a possibility. And also, like I said, it gives me a chance to experiment. It gives me a chance to make videos for you guys. And we get to do more stuff together. And I love it. Let's see, what else do we have? I know I've made so many blocks. Sometimes these pieces, I'm like, I'm pretty sure I just used this one. And I'm like, nope, that was a different block. And that's another reason why I try to do multiple blocks at once. Because if I'm just doing one at a time, it is very easy for me to forget what blocks I just worked on and what pieces were just there. And then it all starts looking the same. Which, like I said, I'm not going to stress about it. I'm not going to worry too much about it. But I do want a really good variety in each of these blocks. Unless I'm doing a theme or a pattern or something with it. So, let's try to get those. Oh, duh. Speaking of scrappy quilts, pretty soon I have enough scrappy pieces from my Scrappy Sunday videos. If you haven't seen them, check them out. I will put the playlist down in the description section, so you can go check out all of those fun little scrappy. Oh, see? Duplicating. It happens. So you can see all of those cool blocks that I think are perfect for using up scraps. And when I say using up scraps, I mean using up whatever you consider a scrap. If you wanted to do 1-inch scrap blocks out of it, you could. I don't know if that would be the most fun thing ever, but you could. Oh. So these are some of the blocks, and as you can see, they're all different sizes. And I'm going to do a video of how to make them all the same size so that they're actually usable, because isn't that the whole point of being able to make scrappy blocks that you can use? And you know, sometimes they're not all the same size, and that's okay. So right now, this top block is considered finished. This has every piece I need. So I am going to pause, because these little bits, surprise, surprise, when you have cats, they seem to get weird and they disappear sometimes. You know, cats. So for sewing together, generally what I do is, again, I find like thrifted, like a little bit better quality thread just to hold this together. Like I said, all of this is eventually going to be machine sewn on point. So I'm going to be cutting right up these points with super tight quilting. So I'm not worried so much about, oh, the stitching is going to fall out when you wash it. Well, no, the whole thing's going to fall apart when I wash it, hopefully. I'm kidding. So how I go from here is this bottom block, it got nothing. It's still just chilling there. This one got a couple pieces, so I'm going to start at the bottom so I can work the smaller bits off to the side. Now, even this one, it's got a couple extras. I try to assemble in rows of 2. So once these 2 are done, they will go together. But once this one is done, it will wait for this other one. I don't know why. It makes more sense in my head. Can't explain it. And then as far as how I connect them is I just make a quilter's knot, because I'm not that cool yet to where I can not use knots. So that's just a quick, easy little loop. Pull it tight. I'm only using single thread. Some people use high quality, Aurifil, and all that other stuff. Like I said, I'm going to machine quilt and lock all of this stuff in. I am not too worried about it. So I'm just going to line those up. Move the fabric where I need it to be. And then I just do, some people do a little whip stitch. I do a little blanket stitch. Don't know why. It's just my favorite. And there again, like most of the time, can you see the stitching? Yes. Guess what? You can with whip stitch too. I also feel like this gives it a little bit more for when I go to machine quilt. And if I do get in that ditch between the 2, I think that's going to help continue to lock it in place. So I'm just going to attach these and we'll continue our little conversation about sewing, doing some fun stuff. As far as, so we talked about 15 minutes sewing, talked about getting all those blocks the same size. What do you guys want to see? These are the biggest scissors ever to cut this tiny thread. Not in my normal spot. What do you guys want to see though? Do you want to see more scrappy videos? Do you want to see more EPP? Do you want to see more tutorials about how to maybe color match and pick fabrics for scrappy quilting? I really do enjoy scrap quilts. I think they are a blast. I think they're a wonderful way to use up what you have and maybe make a difference in not just your mental health or your scrap pile, but those are, you can donate them, you can give them to friends. You have somebody who's having a bad day, like here, it's not much, but it's something, and it seems so big to those people in those moments. But let me know more of what you want to see, what you're struggling with, and I can see if I can get some videos together for you guys. I do have another baby quilt that's being put together. There's a little preview of the massive stack. I'm going to be doing the 4 at a time half square triangles with these, and that's going to be a backing for a panel quilt for a baby quilt. Told you I really do love panels too. Maybe you want to learn more about that. I do still have my large springtime floral quilt, the shadow garden quilt that is being hand quilted very slowly. I do believe I talked about that back in January. I think that was my sew and chat blanket. That one's still not done. I would say it's closer, but I think that's a lie because I've been making baby blankets and this. All right. Well, I think that's about all I have for today. I hope you've enjoyed your time here. I know I've loved having you here with me. Sewing together is always a little bit more fun. Let me know what projects you're working on in the comments below. I'm excited to see what you've been doing with your spare time so far this year. I still can't believe I already have 1 quilt done for the year, which is pretty impressive considering I think last year I got like 4 done total. It wasn't good. That's okay, because it's not about how many you get done, it's about enjoying the process. So, with that said, go enjoy your sewing, and I'll catch you next time. Please make sure to like, subscribe. Like I said, leave me a comment. I love hearing from you guys. And I've got a bunch of stuff coming that I think you're going to enjoy. Like I said, we're going to talk about how to make scrappy blocks fit together that are different sizes. We're going to really see how much you can get done by sewing 15 minutes a day. And we're going to keep making some blankets and having a fun time doing it. All right. Bye, YouTube friends.